So last night I spoke with Alison Hernandez about her, hopefully her future job of Police and Crime Commissioner for Devon and Cornwall, but about her life, about how we knew each other. We know each other for a few years, and her political career and how she used digital and social to engage with the community and get herself known and build her awareness locally. A couple of things. We had a bit of an audio issue. Alison's microphone, for whatever reason, even though you'll see in the interview that my audio recorder was right between us and we were checking it and it seemed to be recording, it wasn't. So the only audio you can hear is all through my microphone. I fixed it a bit in post-production, so it's fine, don't worry. But lessons learned, it's the first one, so we will progress and make sure everything gets fixed. This light down below went out as well, so little hiccups, we're getting there. It's the first show, so anyway, hope you enjoy it. Here's Alison Hernandez on the sofa with Nick. That's me. It's weird talking about yourself in the third person. So welcome to the first, I guess, show with Nick on the sofa, I think we're going to call it. We might develop that and change it as we go, we'll see. So Alison's here, she's joined me, she's Conservative candidate for Police and Crime Commissioner for Devon and Cornwall. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, well done. You remember what you're doing.
I've known her a few years, I can never really know what she does most of the time. I'll let Alison introduce herself and what she does.
Well, luckily Nick's just done a really good introduction, so I won't speak anymore. I think it's there's an election on the 5th of May, and I think you need to look into who you might be interested in voting for and making sure you're registered to vote, of course.
There you go. I think the awkward bit, we were trying to work out how to sit a minute ago.
Yeah.
You're comfortable.
I'm wearing trousers. I think it'd be difficult if I was
and no green, I forgot to tell you not to wear any green.
I haven't got green on.
Oh, that's what I mean, you're lucky.
I was thinking you're colourblind.
I don't want to key you out, you look all weird. So we're going to talk today about Alison, about her career, interesting things that have happened, journey through politics, into Police and Crime Commissioner. But we should probably start where we met, shall we? Can you even remember?
I remember. It was on Twitter. I hate to admit it, but the reality is we met on Twitter. Thanks to Torbay Council, I will say, who introduced us because they knew that I was really interested in doing more online.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, have you heard of Nick? He's doing Talk Torbay. You should get in contact."
Talk Torbay. So I remember meeting you in the church cafe.
St. Peter's Church in Queensway.
There you go. Yeah, we were doing Talk Torbay was a citizen journalism project, which kind of everyone's got them now. Everyone's got a multi-author blog going now, but a relatively unique idea for a local small town at the time. I don't know, how many years ago?
Oh, well, was it before I was elected? So it would have been about 2010?
God.
6 years ago? No. Yeah, it might have been.
So that long ago?
Yeah,
so that flopped anyway. That was one of those projects. It was quite good for a while. We were publishing articles. There's probably 10 people writing on a regular basis. Yeah, it was fun.
It didn't flop. The whole point, the whole thing we did on Talk Torbay, don't you remember, was the mayoral. We did mayoral.
That was good. That was good.
We have a mayor election in 2011, and we're one of the few areas that have an elected mayoral system in Torbay. And we decided, don't you remember? Because it was like the turnout at the last one was really low. Like
so you wanted to increase that a little bit. So we wanted
to try and increase engagement in it, and we went and interviewed all the mayoral candidates and put videos online.
I think that was certainly mine. Your first time out, your first kind of experience with going out and video and interviewing.
Yeah.
So it was really weird because I'd never done it before. So Alison picked me up in a smart car. Yeah. We took, what was them little cams called that we had?
Oh my God.
A little straight up one, tiny screen on the back, little handy cam or something.
And you just pop it. You pull
SD card straight in the side.
Straight in the side of the computer.
It was fine, yeah. And we literally contacted everyone that was running for mayor, wasn't it?
10 candidates, I think it was.
And there was no studio. There wasn't this then.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a camera or a microphone or anything. We drove around in a smart car and found them. What do we even call it? Where they were leafleting, canvassing.
Whether they were on the street in their own home.
In their own home, some of them. And we went and interviewed them. And I think that was probably the pinnacle of Talk Torbay. I think the traffic shot up about 10 times or something for that month.
10,000 hits in a month or something on it. And what was quite interesting is I was standing for election as well as a councillor for Torbay, a Conservative councillor, and we went out and interviewed all the other candidates, so it wasn't being biased towards a Conservative.
Yeah, this is it.
We interviewed all of the mayoral candidates, and we were a bit worried that they might not talk to me because I was obviously a particular party aligned. But it was great because we asked the standard questions of them the same, didn't we? We
Brilliant.
gave nobody any pre-warning of what they were going to be.
No.
And it's still. Would we be able to put the link up?
Yeah, all right. Well,
People can
show
have
notes somewhere. There'll be a link for Talk Torbay.
Yeah.
First venture into video editing as well. It was quite simple. I think we did it on iMovie. But what was really funny, I thought, you might not think it was so funny. I just think most of them didn't really have a clue about some of the questions at the time. And it was quite a big kind of job that they're going for, quite an important role. And we had a standard set of questions to ask everybody.
Yeah.
I think some of them Alison had to explain what the questions meant.
Some of the independents, which, you know, they were trying, you know, they thought they would do something really good for Torbay and they thought they would stand, but completely, you know, in a way, you know, if you haven't been involved in politics, it was just a little bit clueless and they didn't quite understand how the governance of an organisation works, and it was just quite interesting, really. Yeah,
interesting.
Really, well, you can see if we can put the link up, that would be good. But also, what I think the bit that you learned from that, if you remember how long it took to upload the video.
Oh, it was painful.
Hours and
absolutely
hours
painful.
to upload the video.
Yeah. Luckily, it's a bit faster now. We run it through 4G box and
Because I was like,
a few minutes.
Why isn't it online? You're like, I'm still uploading.
It's like 3 days later. Wasn't quite dial-up, I don't think. It might have been. I don't think it was it? No, it wasn't that long ago. So yeah, that's how we met, was Talk Torbay and doing the video interviews and developing that website. And then you went on more. So
well, no, you flipping submitted me for a national award.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I won a national online Councillor of the Year award. That's it.
So Alison was doing great with Twitter, way better than I was doing with Twitter. Really engaging with the community, using it really, really well.
I was using
answering
Facebook
questions.
groups.
Facebook groups?
Facebook groups a lot. I used to run a Kitson Park. It was a park that needed regenerating in the area, and I set up a Facebook group to actually bring people together with all the residents in that area, and I really started using them really well, and that's where I sort of got really into Facebook quite a lot then. But you submitted me then for a national award.
For a national award, yeah. It's won. Online Councillor of the Year award.
A left-wing think tank as well, the LGRU, Local Government Information Unit. So that was a real coup. A Torbay councillor winning a national award.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. You did well.
From going out in the smart car with a little camera, you know what we were doing. It was brilliant.
It's good though, because I don't know any of the other councillors, maybe there are now, that were using social media and content marketing to kind of, whether they further their career, engage with the community better, try and get elected. I'm not sure, was there anybody else doing much? Maybe a couple?
No, there wasn't. Because do you remember when we were doing, when you were doing Talk Torbay, you know, it was like pulling teeth trying to find people who were active. But
bringing them up.
It's completely different.
Yeah,
you know, now there's loads more doing it.
Okay, so moving on from Talk Torbay into Torbay Council. You had a role.
Yeah.
What was your role?
So I got elected then in 2011. So we did get a mayor elected. There was a mayor that was elected, and I got elected as a local councillor. And our mayor's executive of Involved and Healthy Communities, it was called.
And you have any?
What?
If you don't understand why I don't understand what Alison does most of the time, I think you're just about to find out.
Oh, that's really mean. So basically, I was someone who was there to make sure that public health spending was being done all right, you know, a few million quid there, and also to make sure that residents were fully engaged in the budget setting process, because there was going to be, you know, the cuts that happened to local government, and are still been happening. You know, if you're going to cut services, you've got to make sure you're talking to people about how we can, you know, mitigate some of that. So, you know, I really helped with the whole involvement in the budget process. So £250 million turnover around that for that, so it's quite important.
Pretty important. So moving on from the Torbay Council and obviously Talk Torbay, what were the next steps?
I became campaign manager actually for our Conservative candidate who was standing for Member of Parliament.
Of course.
And you know, I was doing that for about 18 months just before the election that has just happened in 2015 in May. And well, guess what? It got elected
too.
The biggest issue you've got, and I think this is the bit about social media, it's not going to win you the election.
No.
Social media won't win you stuff. What it does is it enables the public to have direct access to you. And I think as a politician, you need to have direct access to people, and they need to have direct access to you, because there's too many barriers in the way. You know, especially now that Kevin Foster is a Member of Parliament, he is, for example, in London from Monday to Thursday. So, how is he going to easily contact constituents?
Yeah, it's got to be able to communicate somehow.
Social media is a great way because it's succinct and concise, which means you can't spend hours.
Especially Twitter. Real quick messages, backwards and forwards, getting answered.
If you know people who ramble, tell them to try out Twitter.
So would you say, did you struggle to get some of the people that maybe you've engaged with through social media to actually come out and vote? Is there any correlation?
No, but I think it's a duty that you've got to perform. If this is where people are, who are people that you are there to represent, whether it translates into voting or not, you have a duty to be able to communicate with them. And if that's where they want to communicate with you, you have a duty to do it. So it doesn't necessarily translate into a vote, but it translates into good democracy, I think.
Okay. So you helped, obviously, Kevin get elected by using social engagement in the community and doing all your other stuff. I've seen you out and about in the street, leaflets.
You've got to go door to door. You can't beat door to door. Social media does not beat door to door.
I'm not going to try it. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to try it for anything. It looks like hard work. So situation now is you're running for Police and Crime Commissioner for Devon and Cornwall.
Yeah.
What does that involve?
Well, I'll tell you what the role involves.
I was going to say, what is Police and Crime Commissioner?
Because everybody says to me they can't get excited about this election because they don't know what it is. Okay, so basically you're responsible for the budget that the police have. The money that comes from government for the police, plus whatever if you're aware when you pay your council tax bills, you get a little precept for the police on it as part of it. Well, the Police and Crime Commissioner is responsible for how much that will go up by.
Right.
So they set the precept increase or, whether it's going to stay the same. And they give most of the money over to the police force to deliver its service. So about 98% of the budget will go over to the police chief constable to deliver the police service.
Okay.
And there's some left back that the Police and Crime Commissioner will do other bits with.
Yeah.
The other thing that they do, and this is the really important one that I think people will miss here, but they produce a police and crime plan, which sounds, about as interesting as toffee. Oh, I love toffee. But a police and crime plan, which is the chief constable has a duty, has to take into account what you put in that police and crime plan. So if the public, which is part of the campaign really, is understanding the need of Devon, Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly, what the needs are for the public in order to put the right priorities into the police and crime plan so that the chief constable delivers on them within the police service. Okay. So it's about giving the chief constable a focus. Yeah. So you can actually do quite a lot by getting that succinct, and I think it does need to be succinct. Okay. So police and crime plan, and then the other thing is that's really important is that, and again, sounds a bit dull, holds the chief constable to account, which means you're just making sure that they are delivering against the police and crime plan.
You don't become his boss.
He's employed by the Crown, so you're not. But I do directly appoint or dismiss them.
You're his boss.
I say if elected, I would be. So yeah, you have
That's a serious job. It's a serious undertaking for you. You ready for it?
Oh. Can I just say, I think it's only because I'm a woman that people ask me that question.
Do they?
They always say, "Oh, it sounds like a big job, Ali."
Oh, it's a bit big for you.
No, you sure? Woman, you. No,
I don't think it's because you're a woman. Well, you might have people that ask you that for it, that because you're a woman, are you up for the job? But I wouldn't be up for the job.
Well, that's you.
I can do that.
Understand what I did as a counsellor, so.
That is very true.
I think the thing is, I'm from Torquay, right? Born and bred Torquay, Heel Village, actually. Some people wouldn't know.
Moving on.
I'm from Litchfield Avenue as well. Yeah. So the thing for me about this is that I've worked all across sort of the southwest, so I'm really passionate about the area. And there's nothing like being from the patch that you're representing in some way, shape, or form to give you a real interest. And I enjoyed it as a counsellor, and I would implore anyone who is interested in helping people to think about ever standing for council, really consider. You don't have to join a party. You can run as an independent, but you do need some help and advice if you do that. But what I would say is, it's Devon, Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly. It's the peninsula. It gets as far removed and forgotten because it's out of London. Yeah. Nowhere near London. So, I think it needs a strong voice. And I'm not quiet.
Never been quiet.
And I certainly don't hold back my views. And what I would say is actually most people say, but you're Conservative, and does that mean you're going to toe a party line?
Yeah.
Right? Well, you don't toe a party line as a Police and Crime Commissioner, because there aren't votes to be taken like MPs have, where they need the votes to get the policy through in Parliament.
Yeah.
So you toe the party line to get the policy through. It's not like that for Police and Crime Commissioner. So I've already said to people that, they can't introduce a party line because there's no need for one. And if they ever tried, or for any reason, I would leave the party. It's as simple as that, because this role does not need that type of interference.
There you go.
So one of the things I used to use Twitter for particularly was in full council meetings when we would be making policy decisions in Torbay. I used to tweet out what policy we were debating, what the facts about the policy were, and whether people were supporting it or not at the meeting. And I used to tweet out the facts. I would never ever tweet out a political statement or what my view was. I would always tweet out what was happening.
Yeah, just what's happening, what you're hearing, passing it.
Yeah, and we got from that, I think I got quite a high profile from those that were on Twitter.
Yeah.
And people really appreciated the fact that I was doing it. In most councils, though, officers are paid to do this.
Really?
They do it as part of their job, and we didn't have that. So I was having to do it as a participant in the meeting, doing it, and it didn't look good because it looks like I'm not participating properly in the meeting.
Depends who's in the meeting, I think. If for me, I'd know what you were doing, and I guess the people that are generally would probably be a part of council that are there to partake in the meeting might see that as being ignorant, that you're sitting on your phone, when actually you're engaging with a wider community and allowing other people to sort of take part in what's happening in that meeting.
I felt that because it wasn't happening, there wasn't an opportunity for the public to... Because no one goes to... have you ever been to a full council meeting? I can guarantee you very few of your audience.
I've been to one.
Did you go?
We filmed one, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, but look what I had to do to get you there.
We won't be going again.
How did we forget to mention that?
Oh, yeah, we've got multi-cam set up.
We did a
live stream
of live streaming the full council meeting.
Yeah. Woo.
Again, you need to
it was like the most exciting video you'll ever watch.
Look, it's about a council
4 hours of live streaming of a council meeting.
No, all I'll say is no one ever needs to watch a full meeting. They only ever need to watch the bit of the policy debate that they're interested in. So, if there was something on there that they were interested in, they only need to watch that bit.
We need to put the times in and skip it, yeah.
But that was really amazing. How we managed to do that.
Yeah, I think Curtis did the bulk of the technical stuff there, didn't he?
Pano 360 Devon?
Yeah.
Is he still doing that?
I don't know, to be honest.
I haven't seen him for a while.
That was like 3 or 4 cameras around a council meeting. How many people were there at the meeting?
South Devon College.
Yeah.
They did all the cameras.
Multiple cameras, all live streaming through a switcher, streaming through. There was no internet connection, so it was streaming through a satellite dish Curtis brought down and straight to YouTube.
If you look on Facebook /Torbay Live, it's
Torbay Live, yeah, that's it.
Still liking the campaign because we wanted to try and generate funding for it.
Never happened.
Nah.
Okay, so we talked about kind of Alison's career, usage of social media, and how it's helped develop relationships and help towards campaigns.
It's kept us talking, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's kept us going. Any tips or advice you can give for using social, digital, to maybe enhance awareness, engage with the community, or help you with your campaigns?
Well, the main thing I would say is when I first went onto a lot of the platforms, I would put a lot about what I was doing. I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing stuff. And what I've ended up doing now is spending more time directly talking to people rather than pushing messages out.
Yeah.
So I spend more time on Twitter responding to people or interacting with someone that I think, I need to reply to something. And on Facebook, I spend more on my personal profile, which I have. I spend more time commenting on other people's Facebook profiles and activity and what's going on because it keeps me connected to people.
Yeah.
And on my page, which I've got at the moment, Alison for DCPCC.
Alison for DCPCC. That's good.
On my page, I really struggle with the interaction because it's sort of quite one way. I have to push stuff up.
Yeah. Hope for some interaction.
Then respond. Oh, it's painful. Profiles are so much better a one-to-one engagement. So
I think they feel like they're getting a more personal connection with you as well, because you're now friends on the profile.
Yeah. There's nothing like, you don't really want to be mean to your friend, do you? So like, but on a page, it's like you're like this business, or you're this publication, or you're this thing. Whereas on a profile, you are a friend.
Yeah,
so.
you're kind of connecting with them, and you can see each other's pictures, and you can see the stuff that they're posting as well in your feed every day. So I guess that gives you more opportunity to connect with them on a personal level.
Yeah.
Where obviously businesses, we focus on pages and push on pushing content out there. But that's why it's good to make better quality content that people consume.
But you gave me a good idea, because we know that video is the most consumed content on Facebook and everything, and YouTube's massive and all that malarkey. So Nick suggested that I should think about doing some Twitter replies, doing the video.
Video replies, really good.
Doing it as like a really good personal customer service. So I've tried
How did you get on?
I've tried it. I just sort of forget to do it. Because it's not normal or natural for me to do. So I'm going to...
Because you've just been tweeting for so long, this is what you do.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and do a bit more of that.
Okay, I'll test you.
I tell you the other thing though, Audio Boom. I have to mention it. Don't you remember we got the Talk Torbay channel on there?
Yeah, we had a little channel going, didn't we? I don't think we kept it up very well. No, but it was quite a good idea. Yours were better.
Yeah, I'm going to get back on there, audioboom.fm.
Yeah, that's really good.
Audio interviews, because it's the radio like to share it.
I think as well, when you're out and about and you're meeting people, like we used to do, we haven't talked about Social Media Cafe. When you go to things like Social Media Cafe, we'll come back to that, you need a really quick way to create content. It's easy to take pictures. Sometimes it's quite hard to do video, and there's lots of people around, it's noisy, and people get a bit shy of being put on the spot. I think you found it much easier to pull it out and just say, look, I'm not going to video you, but I'm just going to talk to you straight into the iPhone.
Although I tell you what, getting a photograph of them to put with it was even that,
well, if you're going to struggle with that, you're going to struggle with video.
Yeah. I was like, they really wouldn't do video. Yeah. So that was really good.
So the biggest thing that we actually forgot about that we've done together is Torbay Social Media Cafe. Yeah. We ran it for 2 years. It was Alison's idea. She came up with this idea that we could help the community learn about using social media. We're going back 3 or so years now, which was, I was selling those services at the time, training, consultancy and social media management. And when Alison rings me up and says, how'd you fancy doing this for free every month? I'm like, yeah, great. But we did it.
Selling it like, it'd be a platform for you. You can get more business.
The truth of it is, actually, it turned out quite good. It was good for my profile. I definitely got work, not from the people that attended Social Media Cafe so much, but probably more so about them talking about me and kind of being a go-to person for social media help and advice. And we ran Social Media Cafe for 2 years in a different cafe every month across Torbay, and picked up quite a good following, really, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, the aim was, because we liked social media, we were getting annoyed that hardly anyone was on it, and we thought we need to generate more demand. So
the rest of the world was on it, just not Torbay.
Not Torbay, it's not the local area. So we thought we really, really wanted to push trying to help people do it for free, and we did. We made some friends out of it.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant. And one of the things I would say is that really every month what happened is he would just get absolutely swamped with people wanting personal advice and sitting with him. He would be absolutely exhausted at the end of the 2 hours. It was usually about 2 hours. But it was really, it was good. It's the best really thing I've ever done. And we tried to look at how we can turn it into a company or
what we can do with
business. And we said, actually, it was just a good idea at the time.
It was what it was,
It didn't have longevity, really.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it was a business that you could do. We got some speaking gigs out of it, didn't we? Oh, yeah. We got a couple of speaking gigs. We got paid for one of them.
Training.
We did like a trading day. You can continue with those sorts of things. That was it. Well done. Yeah, I couldn't remember that. That was a really good day. We did a talk about helping people create content in different times, using like Canva for images, Audio Boom, how to create video, that sort of thing.
I'll have you know that a number of those people that were at that event, I am still liaised with now. Janet, who was one of the she was interested in doing counselling.
Yeah,
and
I know who that is.
She wasn't sure how to do it, and she's really good on Facebook now.
Yeah, I've seen doing some videos.
There's Rebecca, she's just set up. She's been doing transgender workshops and educating people about it. She's getting better on social media. We just
Yeah,
reminded her to get on Twitter again.
Did you? Because she came to the cafe as well.
Trans-informed.
Was a trainer and then social media cafe at Dot's Pantry.
Yeah.
Dot's Pantry downstairs. Shout out for John.
They were our best cafe venue.
They gave us the venue every month. At the end, I think it ended up being that we just came here, didn't it? We stopped touring around so much. Probably the last 5 or 6 were done in Dot's Pantry, which is the cafe below the studio.
Only because we outgrew, we have to mention Millie and Me in Brixton.
Oh, Millie and Me. Yeah.
Our favourite Brixton cafe. But it got too small and too big and we were almost spilling out into the streets, weren't we? It was so fun.
So popular.
Why did we stop doing it again? Oh,
it was a good laugh as well. It was. Quite enjoyed it. I got swamped, like you say, but it was a good laugh.
Yeah. Oh, hello to Joe, by the way. We have to say hi to Joe.
Joe,
Halligan.
who helped us out with Social Media Cafe. May as well say hello to Matt and Kezia and everybody else who helped out.
Oh, they were great.
And everybody who came to Social Media
Kezia
Cafe.
was our youngest helper, actually. She was 15, I think, at the time when she started helping us as one of the experts.
Yep.
She used to help set up the Twitter accounts,
yeah,
didn't she?
and help fix people's mobile phones and stuff when they didn't know how to use it. So we've done quite a lot together. Where do we go from here?
Can you help me with my Police and Crime Commissioner campaign?
Yeah, we'll make some videos. See that? I think that brings the interview to a close. More of a chat than an interview. Anything you want to say before we go?
No.
We're done exhausted. Here. We're done here. Do we do like a high five to finish it? See you later.